The small sailboat cut through the choppy waters of the open ocean, its wooden hull creaking under the strain of the relentless wind. Princess Sophia clutched the worn leather grip of the wheel, her eyes fixed on the horizon as the island of her exile slowly materialized from the mist she had been warned not to return. But the cryptic message from her loyal servant had been too enticing to ignore. The words, "They're closing in," still echoed in her mind, fueling her determination to protect the secret that had been entrusted to her. As the island drew closer, Sophia's thoughts drifted back to the events that had led to her banishment. The discovery of the ancient artifact, the whispers of its true power, and the subsequent betrayal by her own family, all of it still felt like a fresh wound. She had been forced to flee, leaving behind everything she had ever known, to safeguard the secret and prevent it from falling into the wrong hands. The weight of that responsibility still hung heavy on her shoulders. The sailboat scraped against the rocky shore, and Sophia leapt out, her boots sinking into the wet sand. She scanned the deserted beach, her hand on the dagger at her waist, as she made her way toward the dense jungle that covered most of the island. The air was thick with the scent of blooming flowers and decaying vegetation, a potent reminder of the island's unforgiving environment. Sophia knew every inch of this place, every hidden cove and every treacherous path. She had spent years honing her survival skills, preparing for the day when she would be forced to defend her secret. As she pushed through the underbrush, the sounds of the jungle grew louder, and Sophia's senses went on high alert. She had been warned that her enemies were closing in, but she had no idea who they were or what they wanted. The only thing she knew was that she had to protect the artifact at all costs. The consequences of it falling into the wrong hands were too catastrophic to contemplate. The trees parted, and Sophia caught sight of the small clearing where she had hidden the artifact. Her heart sank as she saw the signs of recent disturbance, the trampled grass, the snapped twigs, and the faint footprints in the dirt. Someone had been here, and they had been searching for something. Sophia's grip on her dagger tightened as she approached the spot where she had buried the artifact. It was gone. A cold dread crept up her spine as she realized the true extent of her failure. All her years of hiding, all her sacrifices, had been for nothing. The artifact was out there, in the hands of people who would stop at nothing to exploit its power. Sophia felt the weight of her responsibility crushing her, the weight of her failure threatening to consume her. She turned to flee, but it was too late. A figure emerged from the trees, a figure Sophia recognized all too well. It was her brother, Prince Henry, the man who had betrayed her and forced her into exile. His eyes gleamed with triumph as he held up the artifact, its power coursing through him like a dark energy. "You should have stayed hidden, Sophia," he sneered, his voice dripping with malice. "Now, you'll never be able to stop me." Sophia charged at him, her dagger flashing in the sunlight. But Henry was too powerful. He knocked her to the ground, the artifact still clutched in his hand. As Sophia struggled to get back to her feet, Henry turned and disappeared into the jungle, leaving her to pick up the pieces of her shattered world. The island seemed to grow darker, the shadows deepening as Sophia stumbled back to her sailboat. She knew that she had lost everything she had fought for, and that the world would never be the same again. The wind howled through the trees, a mournful cry that seemed to echo Sophia's own despair. She set sail into the unknown, the ominous horizon stretching out before her like an abyss, as she vowed to one day reclaim her secret and restore balance to a world on the brink of chaos.